Hello students, the chapter is Force and Laws of Motion. First you understand about the chapter. In this chapter you will learn about force, laws of motion and conservation of momentum. Now force, what topic you will be learn? Force definition, effect of force and balanced and unbalanced force. Laws of motion, three laws of motion. First law, that is known as laws of inertia. Second law, law of momentum. And third is known as action reaction. In this section you learn many reason based question also, that is very important for standard 9. Conservation of momentum, you will learn the theory, derivation of conservation of momentum and numerical question based on it. So let's start the chapter with the topic force. In standard 8 already you learn about these topics. What is force, what is the effect of force. So the definition of force, force is a push or pull acting on a body which tends to change its state of motion or of rest. Means when you apply force in any object, the object will change its state. If the object is moving, you can apply force and stop the moving object. If the object is at rest, by applying force you can start motion of the object. So what is the definition? The definition is a push or pull acting on a body which tends to change its state of motion or of rest. Effects of force. Force can change the shape of an object. By stretching a rubber band, we can change the shape of a rubber band. So this is example that force can change shape of an object. Force can change state of motion or of rest. Force can change the direction of motion of the object. Force can stop a moving object. What example you will be right in this case? In cricket match, when the cricketer hit a ball, in that case, he changed the direction of the ball. So, force can change direction of motion of an object. You can write this example. Force can change the state of motion. Suppose a ball that is moving very slowly, by applying force, the motion of the ball will be increases. So, you can write that as an example in this case. Balanced force. As you see in the figure, this is an object and F1 and F2 are two forces. The direction of both forces are opposite. Direction of F1 is this side and F2 is this side. So when two forces acting on an object and the direction of force is opposite, but the magnitude of the force is same. Suppose F1 value is 5 Newton and F2 value is also 5 Newton. In this case, the object will not move because the net force on the object is 0. So this kind of force is known as balanced force. How you define balanced force? The force that are equal in size but opposite in direction are called balanced force. One important point, that balanced force do not accelerate the object. Do not accelerate the object means what? Your object will not move if your object is in rest. Now children, understand unbalanced force. Look at the figure properly. This is an object and we are applying two force F1, F2. The value of F1 is 5 Newton and F2 is 10 Newton. So which force is greater than? F2 is greater than. So in this case, the net force of the object will not 0. It must be something. So when two or more than two forces you apply in any object and the net force will not 0, that is known as unbalanced force. So what happens in this case? Your object will be moved this side in the direction of F2 because the value of F2 is more. The main point, that unbalanced force are required to accelerate the object. If the question is that which force is required to accelerate, then your answer will be unbalanced force. I hope you understand the concept of force, effects of force, balanced and unbalanced force. Next video I will teach you about Newton's first law of motion, that is also known as law of inertia. Practical application based question of it.